Hello, Abnormal Investigations. How's everybody doing? Man, we have been working hard on the Patreon video we're going to be dropping. I actually have some first-hand video that I will use in that video, and it's alarming. It's scary, and it makes you really wonder what's going on. I caught the footage the other night at about 4 a.m. It's going to be very interesting to look at. The moderators, I believe, have all seen it, so they may comment in this video about it. I don't know if they will. Jessie probably will, because I believe that she'll watch this video, and she'll tell you what she's seen. I've already shared it with some of them, but it will be used in our Patreon-only video we're going to drop. It's going to be really deep, and no way I would be able to drop this anywhere else. Alright guys, I've got an encounter for you. I hope you all enjoy this one. Thank you for watching. If you don't mind, smack that like button. Share this out on your social media so we can get some views and let's grow our family. The story begins back in the summer of 1997. I was 12 years old at the time, and my family and I had just moved into a new house about 30 minutes away from where we used to live. It was a warm summer night, and my parents had agreed to let my friends have a sleepover. I was eager to show them around my new house. My friend, who I will call Emily, and my other friend, Stephanie, came inside, and we were warmly greeted by my mother, who had prepared us some chocolate chip cookies. Then I showed my friends around the new house, and then we made our way to the living room, where we set everything up for our slumber party. Emily excitedly opened her bag to show me some spooky movies that she had brought with her, and rushed to the VCR to put one in. "Don't you girls watch anything too scary tonight," my mother chimed in. "I'll be just in the other room with your father if you need anything," she said to me as she retired to her room. After she left, we snuggled up on our blankets and put on a movie. When it was over, we were still pretty wired and not ready for bed at all yet. "I brought some games for us to play," Stephanie said as she unzipped her bag and emptied it onto the floor. A few boring games fell out onto the floor. Nothing really too interesting stood out at first, but then I saw something interesting peeking out from underneath. I reached down and pushed the other games aside to reveal what looked like to be a glow-in-the-dark Ouija board. "Oh," Emily said as she grabbed the box from my hands. "Is this what I think it is?" "Sure is," Stephanie said with a mischievous smile. "I snuck it from my older brother's room. He would kill me if he knew I had it." "I'm not sure we should mess with this, guys," I said, a little worried. "I don't want to accidentally summon anything." "Oh, come on," said Stephanie as she smirked. "You don't actually believe in that, do you? This is just a game. It can't summon anything." "What's the harm in just giving it a try?" Emily added. "We can stop at the end if anything weird happens, or if we get scared, we'll just quit playing." All right, I said with a sigh. "We can try it just this once, but if anything weird happens, we're stopping right away." "Yay," my friends shouted in unison as they took the board out of the box and laid it on the coffee table. We found some candles in the closet and set them around the board and lit them. Then we turned out the lights and we all sat down. "So how do we use this thing anyway?" I asked. Emily and Stephanie then began explaining the rules to me. "We need to ask a question first," said Stephanie. "Then we all put our hands on the planchet and it'll guide us letter by letter to the answer. And I don't forget to put the planchet over goodbye when you're done," Emily added, "and never remove your hand." "You ask the question first," said Stephanie. "This is your new house, after all. Maybe you can ask it if there's any ghosts here," as they all laughed. "Okay," I said nervously. Are there any spirits with us tonight?" is what I asked quietly. "If so, please answer us." We all held our fingers over the planchette, waiting for the answer, but nothing ever responded. "See, I told you there was nothing to be worried about," Stephanie said. We put the planchet over goodbye, blew out the candles, and then we turned back on the lamp. "Well, that was lame," Emily said with disappointment. "I was hoping for some ghosts." I laughed and admitted that I was glad we didn't get a response. We were full of energy and eager to do something else, but none of the other board games sounded interesting. We then decided best game to play was hide and seek. I wanted to go first, so Emily and Stephanie ran off to find a hiding place. And I closed my eyes and, of course, counted to 10. After I reached 10, I ran off in search of my friends. Emily was always the easiest to find, so I found her first hiding in the bathroom shower behind the curtain. She and I then split up to go find Stephanie. As I made my way toward the back of the house, I noticed the door to my dad's office room. It was open. My father had a hobby in his spare time of building models and airplanes and cars, and all of his important equipment was in that room. He usually kept it locked, so I would not mess around with any of it. Stephanie, I said urgently as I approached the room. You can't hide in there. This room is off limits. I walked inside and looked around, but I heard no response from her. Stephanie, this isn't funny, I said, getting more upset. If Dad catches us in here, we're in big trouble. Just as I was about to say something else, I saw something quickly dart behind Dad's office chair. I felt a rush of fear come over me as I slowly approached the chair. Stephanie, I asked, struggling to get the words out. Is that you? I stuttered. I felt a light chill as I heard a raspy voice whisper behind me, No. The voice answered. All of a sudden, my stomach felt like it went through my feet, and I ran for my life out of that room screaming. Stephanie popped out of the broom closet in the kitchen where she had been hiding, and Emily came running out of the living room. What? What is wrong? They were all yelling at me. They both asked me, trying to calm me down, what was wrong with me. I frantically tried to explain what had just happened, but my parents stormed out of their bedroom. What on earth is going on? My dad asked with concern. I tried telling him what happened, but he didn't believe me. He just said that those old scary movies probably got on me, and they had me on edge, and he told us to go to bed. But Dad didn't know. We hadn't even watched the movies. I settled into my sleeping bag, still disturbed by what had happened. We were all sleeping in the living room that night, and my friends were already fast asleep by that time. I started getting sleepy. I started to close my eyes when I heard the sound of faint whispering. I bolted up, looking around the room, wide-eyed, my heart racing. I didn't see anything, but I heard whispering from every direction. I tried to wake my friends, but to no avail. They didn't respond. I slowly got out of my sleeping bag, trying to pinpoint where the whispering was coming from, but I couldn't figure it out. I looked toward the back of the house and saw the office door slowly creaking open again. I saw what looked like a woman's hand reach out from the room on the door. The fingers were slowly ran across the door until it disappeared back into the darkness of the room. Did I just see that? I thought to myself. I asked myself. I was frozen in fear, and then came to my senses, only to realize I had walked all the way toward the door somehow without even knowing. Curiosity, I guess. I felt a cold rush of air again. The hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I felt like something very evil was right behind me. I was full of dread as I slowly turned around, expecting to see something terrible, but there was nothing there. I sighed a little bit, feeling some relief, then I turned back around to face the office door. To my horror, I saw a woman standing in the doorway. She was pale, slightly transparent, her body was skinny, and she was very bony. Her neck was crooked, and she was writhing in a very unnatural way. The most terrifying thing about her was she really didn't have a face at times. She started moving toward me in a jerky manner, and I screamed, running back towards the living room, waking everyone in the house. My parents ran out of the room, and my friends both woke up looking at me confused as to what is going on. I tried to explain what had just happened. I was crying and trying to tell them my story, choking on my words. My parents were convinced that I was just a bad nightmare and that scolded us for watching scary movies before bed, which we had not. I tried to plead with them and tell them that it did not, but they didn't believe it. They marked it off as a nightmare. I finally convinced my parents to let me sleep with them in their room, and my friends went back to sleep in the living room. Yeah, I kind of ditched them. Finally, after laying awake for what seemed like an eternity, reeling over what had happened in my head, I fell asleep. My friends teased me about it, my nightmare at breakfast in the morning, and then their parents stopped by to pick them up. After they left that day, I didn't see the faceless lady again that night, or the following day. I didn't allow Stephanie to bring over that Ouija board ever again, much to her dismay. I really think something evil was attached to it, and for some reason it was drawn to me. This was the serious thing that had ever happened to me. It was so scary. Until a week later, when Stephanie told me that her brother had told the same story of seeing a woman in his room. So there had to be something attached to that board. I agree. They're evil. You shouldn't mess with them. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus right there. Them things are very evil. I don't think you should ever mess with one, have one in your house, ever touch one. I think the only thing that they do is bring evil. What do you guys think? I think there was something attached to it, and I think her brother was up to something, and it very well could have been traveling with that board. I would bless my house and make sure you're rid of whatever. Even if your parents don't believe you, you still have the power. You still have the power of Jesus' name too. So demand it to leave, and don't let that stuff into your house. And next time somebody brings something like that, tell them it's not welcomed and take it off your property. Thanks for listening, guys. Until next time, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you on the next one.